Welcome back to another edition of Top Choice Movies Recap. Today, we are diving into a film that premiered in 2024, titled Mea Culpa. Before we get started, kindly subscribe, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Be aware of potential spoilers ahead. In this story, Mea, a successful defense attorney, and her husband Cal's facing significant challenges in their marriage. Their issues stem from Cal's emotional attachment to a childhood friend, Jenna, and his strong bonds with his mother and brother, which make Mea feel like she's not his priority. During a counseling session, Cal abruptly leaves to take a call from his sick mother, forcing Mea to finish the session alone. As she grapples with Cal's emotional affair and his mother's illness, Mea struggles to keep his secrets while managing the costs associated with Cal's mother's 60th birthday celebration. To cope, she plans to have a stiff drink before confronting her difficult mother-in-law, Azalea. Upon arrival, Azalea quickly becomes confrontational, making snide comments about Jenna's punctuality and insinuating that she might be Cal's next wife. Cal surprises his mother with an extravagant gift purchased with Mea's money without her knowledge. At a family gathering, Mea sits next to her sister-in-law, Charlize, who is married to Cal's brother, Ray. The conversation takes a turn for the uncomfortable when Charlize mentions buying paintings from an artist named Zier, upsetting Ray. While driving home, Cal apologizes to Mea for the watch purchase and admits to selling their piano to finance it, justifying his actions by saying that since Mea no longer played it, she shouldn't mind its sale. He emphasizes his desire to support his ailing mother, who has always been a source of strength for him. Mea meets Zier, a painter facing murder accusations. Zier shares his experience of police raids that damaged his commission pieces and strongly denies the murder charges, attributing them to a personal vendetta from the district attorney, who happens to be her brother-in-law, raising concerns about potential conflicts of interest. He insists on hiring Mea and offers to compensate her for her services. Mea agrees to look into the case and asks him to leave his contact details with her secretary instead of exchanging phone numbers. Later, Mea and Charlie leave the gym and come across protesters outside a local gallery, demanding the removal of Zyair's artwork. The gallery owner dismisses Mea when she mentions Zyair's request for legal representation, while Charlie's notes highlight the negative sentiments surrounding Zier. That evening, as Mea reviews Zyair's case files, Cal confronts her after discovering her intention to represent Zier. He urges her to reconsider, stressing that she should not go against his brother. In a bold move, Mea confronts Cal about her financial contributions to his uninsured mother's medical bills, revealing that Cal, an anesthesiologist dismissed for substance abuse, has kept this from his family. Mea then visits Zier at his home, where she finds him painting, stirring a sense of longing within her. Zier encourages her to explore his space before they discuss business. Mea instructs him to disclose everything he knows, prompting him to recount his romantic relationship with Heidi, which began in Italy and ended mysteriously after an exhibition. When Mea questions him about the crime scene, she notes the extensive blood splatter that reached the neighbor's property and informs him about skull fragments found in one of his paintings. She conducts a thorough interrogation that visibly disturbs him, presenting a video in which his ex accuses him of plotting her murder. Zier disputes the video's credibility, bewildered by her reasons for recording it, despite the troubling evidence, including a $3 million life insurance policy taken out on the victim. Mea's realization of Zyair's apparent ignorance regarding recent events prompts her to contemplate representing him that evening. Upon her return home, she discovers her mother and brother-in-law waiting for her. Azalea has prepared dinner, but the charged atmosphere makes it uncomfortable to share a meal with someone who harbors resentment. Ray announces his candidacy for mayor, further escalating tensions within the family, and he subtly suggests that he knows about Mea's potential representation of Zier. He dismissively states that her brother-in-law will win the case, implying that Ray's intentions are far from noble, as he seeks to undermine Zier without genuine concern for women's safety or public welfare. Although Mea keeps her decision to represent Zier to herself that night, she resolves to do so the following day. Charlize later apologizes for Azalea, and Ray discovering the situation with Zier. Mea questions Charlize's intentions, sensing her frustration and the effort to mask her anger amid Azalea's illness and family strife. Mea receives a visit from Jimmy, her childhood friend and a trusted private investigator, who feels like family. Noticing her distress, he takes her for a walk. He had previously informed Mea about Cal's issues before his job loss, and has been vigilantly monitoring the situation to support her. Jimmy has also been attempting to track down Heidi's family in Mexico, but has had no luck. During their conversation, he senses Mea's uncertainty about representing Zier, and hopes her decision stems from a belief in his innocence rather than resentment towards her in-laws. Mea reassures him of her commitment. In a meeting with the judge and Ray to discuss the case, Ray accuses Mea of acting out of spite. To her surprise, the judge permits her to represent Zier, but cautions them both about the potential repercussions of their actions. Moving forward, Jimmy engages Zier in conversation to evaluate his character, referencing a statement from one of Ziyer's former partners that describes their passionate encounters, during which Zier exhibited aggressive behavior. Zier contends that their interactions were both mutual and filled with passion. As Jimmy observes Zier, he notices him smiling while reminiscing about intense moments, during which Zier reveals he ended a relationship with someone who couldn't cope with that intensity. When asked about similar experiences with Heidi, Zier firmly denies any such connection, stressing his profound love for her. However, after probing Zier and sensing some dishonesty, both Jimmy and Mea begin to question his truthfulness. Jimmy resolves to dig deeper during his trip to Mexico, while Mea advises Zier on the importance of maintaining a trustworthy image and warns him about possible drug tests. In their conversation, Zier expresses his love for Heidi, denies causing her pain, and minimizes the relevance of his ex's comments. Mea reassures Zier that Jimmy will eventually uncover the truth. A few days later, Jimmy updates Mea on his investigation, mentioning difficulties in locating Heidi's family or birth records, yet he remains dedicated to the search. Mea then inquires about Renee Carter, the gallery owner from earlier, to which Zier explains that Renee had supported his artistic journey and introduced him to key figures, but grew resentful when he left her for someone else after achieving success. Zier attempts to connect with Mea on a personal level, but she redirects the conversation to his feelings of being overlooked, sharing her struggles with caring for her husband and mother-in-law. Seizing the opportunity, Zier encourages Mea to channel her emotions into art, suggesting she paints waves in shades of blue. Feeling uneasy with their growing closeness, Mea excuses herself, claiming she needs to catch a train. Zier offers her a ride on his motorcycle, but she chooses to take an Uber to keep her distance. On the train, Mea reflects on her conversations with Zier, particularly the intimate details she learned about him. Despite his subtle flirtations, she finds herself drawn to him, even daydreaming about taking risks. The following day, Cal shows up with flowers for Mea, who keeps her distance. He suggests dinner that evening, but she declines, preferring to meet after her therapy session. During their chat, Zier interrupts by touching her back and attempting to introduce himself to Cal, who seems uninterested and walks away. When Zier inquires why Mea hasn't visited his loft, she explains that she prefers meetings at the office for better concentration. Zier expresses discomfort with the media scrutiny and insists on meeting at his loft, despite Mea's advice against it. The next day, Mea goes to Ziyer's loft, where he confesses his feelings for her and compliments various aspects of her personality. However, Mea redirects the conversation to her feelings of rejection. Zier shares his trust issues and suggests they find a new lawyer. Suddenly, he decides to go dancing, ignoring Mea's concerns about being seen. He encourages her to leave with him, and after a moment of hesitation, she follows him down a dimly lit staircase to a lively party below. The following day, Mea meets Zier again, and he apologizes. She stresses her need to maintain professionalism and set clear boundaries. Zier questions those boundaries and tries to kiss her neck, but he is not alone that night. As Mea steps out to give him some space, she catches sight of a painting that depicts her face. Meanwhile, Zier engages in intimate activities with someone else, ensuring Mea sees it. He only allows her to leave when he chooses. After this unsettling encounter, Mea receives a photo from Jimmy showing Cal with his childhood friend entering a hotel room, which disturbs her deeply. Determined, she returns to Zyair's place, where they share intimate moments, leading to a bike ride together and further intimacy. Later, a painting of Mea hangs above the bed, symbolizing Zyair's influence over her. Unaware of the potential consequences, Mea becomes entangled in a relationship that threatens her career. Fast forward, Mea arrives at work to find Charlize and her husband anxiously waiting for her. Mea initially dismisses her husband's worries until Charlize brings up the Winston Hotel, prompting her guilt over Azalea's health. This leads Mea to visit Zier to resign as his lawyer, referring him to another attorney despite his assurances of confidentiality. She chooses to sever their professional ties. During a meeting with Renee, Mea uncovers Zyair's manipulative behavior, including his use of art to exert control over women. Renee's experiences echo Mea, revealing that Zier employs similar tactics, such as painting portraits and displaying them prominently. Disturbed by this revelation, Mea goes to Zyair's place, removes the portraits, and finds him working on a new piece featuring multiple portraits that reflect her artistic journey after visiting Ray's house with Cal. Upon entering, Mea immediately senses tension. Ray and Azalea regard her with suspicion, and Ray positions Cal next to him, aware that Mea reported an inappropriate relationship to the judge. Ray hesitates, prompting Mea to explain the situation to Cal. Charlie tries to ease the tension, but RY silences her while Azalea criticizes Mea, suggesting Cal deserves better. Cal urges Mea to be truthful, leading her to confess her relationship with Zier. Cal becomes upset and questions Mea, eventually revealing his struggles with job loss and rehab. Meanwhile, Charlie follows Mea outside to offer support, but is called back in by her husband, leaving their conversation unresolved. Later, Mea finds herself in Guatemala, watching a Chicago news report that reveals Zier has accepted a plea deal with the possibility of parole. Jimmy reaches out to Mea, expressing concern for her well-being and mentioning Cal's return to counseling. Despite Jimmy's worries, Mea brushes off the conversation, promising to check in later. While jogging, she unexpectedly encounters Heidi, who was thought to be dead, and who then steals Mea's phone after a brief chase, leaving Mea frustrated with the lack of police support. Mea contacts Charlize to request a conversation with Ray, catching both of them off guard. She reveals to Ray that Heidi is alive and asserts Zyair's innocence. This news alarms Ray, especially when he learns that Jimmy plans to investigate, prompting him to urge Mea to return to the US for help. Despite the warnings, Mea chooses to confront Zier on her own, a choice that could lead to serious consequences. Although Charlize is there to provide support, Mea opts to act independently. Jimmy reaches out to Mea, sharing startling information through email that directs her to a red light room, where she finds portraits of Charlize, exposing her affair with Zier as the catalyst for Ray's determination to imprison him. In a twist, Mea's mother-in-law approaches her under the pretense of offering help, but Mea senses ulterior motives. During their interaction, Mea accidentally breaks her phone, heightening her unease. Ray and Mustard's behavior raises her suspicions, particularly when Ray unexpectedly offers her a drink. Mea manages to send an email to Ray, revealing Azalea's deception about her cancer, unaware that Ray is already informed. He expresses his disapproval of Mea's actions, recalling his past objections to Cal marrying her. In a shocking moment, Ray hands a knife to Charlize with harmful intent, but she fights back, resulting in a struggle that leaves her unconscious. Amid the chaos, Mea confronts Mustard, subduing him before escaping the house. Outside, Ray attacks her, but Mea manages to flee in a pickup truck, with Ray, Mustard, and her mother-in-law in pursuit. As she crashes the truck into a tree, she escapes on foot and spots a car, realizing it's Cal. Initially, he seems concerned, but Mea soon overhears him revealing his alliance with Ray. Cal admits to being manipulated by Ray, who advocates violence to control Mea. A confrontation ensues, leading to a tragic accident that results in Cal's death. Ray is arrested, Zier is exonerated, and Mea cuts ties with her past, ignoring Zyair's attempts to reconnect. She discards her phone, symbolizing her commitment to moving on from the chaos. How would you rate Mea Culpa as a movie? What did you think of its storytelling and style? Thank you for watching. Please feel free to share your thoughts on the movie you just watched in the comments box below. And don't forget to subscribe for more movie recaps to come your way. Stay safe.